In this video, I will test this free buy-sell TradingView indicator strategy shared by my trading journey to find out its true win rate. I will backtest this strategy 100 times with an initial account size set at $1,000 with 2% risk per trade. Okay, so the currency I'm going to be testing this strategy on is going to be Kiwi Yen on a 15-minute chart. And now let's go ahead and add our indicators. So for the first indicator, let's search for QQE MT4 glass. This indicator by Just Uncle L. And for the second indicator, let's add extreme trend. Now let's make some minor adjustments to these indicators. So let's first change the color for this X trend to green and red. And now let's access the settings on this QQE indicator and get rid of these levels. Okay, the strategy is ready. Now let's understand how these indicators work. So for the first confirmation indicator, we're going to be using this extreme trend. This indicator is really similar to half trend. However, it does not provide any customization options in terms of changing the inputs. And the way this indicator works is really simple. Whenever we have a green triangle printed below the price, this is a signal to go long. And whenever we have a red triangle printed above the price, this is a signal to go short. And for the second confirmation indicator, we're going to be using this QQE MT4. This is a slightly modified version of a QQE mod. Let's actually add it to our chart and compare them. Okay, so right away we can see that the indicator reacts to the price changes a bit slower. It does not issue a lot of fake signals, which is pretty good. So if the QQE mod is colored in red, this indicates a strong selling pressure in the market. And if the bar is colored in green, this indicates a strong bullish pressure. Okay, now you have a basic idea on how these indicators work, so let's actually understand the trading rules. Okay, so here are the rules for entering a long trade. First, the extreme trend has to issue a new bullish signal. Second, the QQE MT4 has to also be green color. And once we have these conditions met, we're going to place a buy order at the close of our trigger candlestick. Our stop loss will be set at the extreme trend line. For this strategy, we do not set any particular take profit targets. We're going to close the position as soon as we have this blue line crossed above the yellow line. We see that it's already above it. So in this case, we're basically waiting for a new cross. There we go, this is where we had a cross, and now we can close this position right on this candlestick. Also, the person who shared this strategy was using Heikin Ashi candlesticks, but since TradingView does not allow to replay the chart in Heikin Ashi, I'm just going to be using the regular candlesticks. There wasn't any conditions to be met for Heikin Ashi candlesticks anyway. Exactly opposite rules apply for entering short positions. First of all, the extreme trend has to issue a new sell signal, and the QQE MT4 has to be red color. And only when we have these two conditions met, we can place a sell order. Our stop loss will be set at the extreme trend line. And we're going to close the position as soon as we have this blue line crossing this yellow line downwards. Also, let me show you some examples where you wouldn't have entered the trade. Okay, so this is where the extreme trend issued a new long signal. But if we're looking at the QQE MT4, we see that the histogram is colored in orange. So we do not wait for it to catch up, we simply ignore this trade. And right away, I can see a major problem with this strategy. We see sometimes this X trend issues pretty good signals, but because the QQE reacts to the price changes a bit slower, you simply don't get a chance to catch massive moves like this. And this happens over and over again. We see we had a really good short signal, but the QQE did not agree. So we literally missed out on this nice trade. But if we look at the times when the market is moving sideways, we see none of these signals were actually confirmed, which is pretty good. The strategy does eliminate losses, but as I said, if your strategy does not give you a chance to participate in some really good trends, you're simply not going to be making any money. But I might be wrong, so let's actually do our backtesting and see how well this strategy would perform in different market conditions.
Alright,
Alright, so these are the results after 100 tests. The win rate for the strategy is only 38% and we lost 4.44% of our account. The equity curve is not looking great at all, even though we did get a chance to catch some winners here and there. But again, those profits were only enough to cover the losses. The profit factor for the strategy is less than 1, which is pretty bad, and we had 4 consecutive wins against 6 consecutive losses. So in the second part of this video, I will try to actually improve the strategy so that we get at least 60% win rate. And for that, I decided to first get rid of this X trend and add a half trend to the chart. And now let's customize this indicator. So first of all, get rid of these ATR high and lows. And in the input section, we're going to change this parameter from 2 to 10. And to make the strategy even better, let's add a volume indicator as well. So let's search for volume oscillator. Alright, the strategy is complete. Let's get into the trading rules. Okay, so for a long position to be valid, we first need to have this half trend indicator colored in blue. The QQE has to either change from orange to green or from red to green. And the volume oscillator has to be greater than 0. And if we have these conditions met, we can safely enter a long trade. Our stop loss will be set at the half trend line. And this time we're going to set a specific take profit target, which is going to be at 1.5 times the risk. Exactly opposite is true for short trades. First of all, the half trend line has to be a red color. The QQE mod has to change from either orange to red or from green to red. And just like with the long trades, the volume has to be greater than 0. We're going to set our stop loss at the half trend line. And we're going to be targeting 1.5 times the risk. Okay, let me give you a couple more examples just so you know exactly how to trade with this strategy. So here we had a short entry, but the volume oscillator was being below 0. So in this case, we do not wait for it to break above, we simply skip this trade. Also, take a look at how well this strategy eliminates false signals. See, without half trend, these QQE signals would result in big losses. I noticed this strategy works particularly well when the market is trending. Okay, I hope you have understood the rules, so let's actually do our second backtesting and see if the results are any better. Okay, the second backtesting is done and these are the results. Right away we can see that the win rate is much higher and we did increase our account size by 190.07%. By the way, I forgot to mention that it took me 1 year and 10 months to find 100 setups for the previous strategy, but for the second strategy it only took me 3 months. Also, the profit factor is looking pretty good and we had 6 consecutive wins against 3 consecutive losses. So I'm really happy with these results. However, I do believe that the win rate for the strategy can be improved even more. You just need to tweak the settings on those indicators or potentially replace some of them. Okay traders, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see my best strategy on the channel, check out this video right here.